Welcome to the Epoxy Business Podcast.
Proud member of the Woodpreneur Network, home of the #1 podcast in the wood industry. I'm Steve from Acres of Timber and Woodpreneur Life, and along with my co-host Jake from Ol Loggin Sawmill, we'll be diving into the world of resin and epoxy every week. If you're a maker or wood entrepreneur interested in learning the ins and outs of the epoxy business, this is the place for you. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
The Epoxy Business Podcast is proudly sponsored by
Ol Loggin Epoxy, the premier epoxy and resin system for professional makers and wood business owners. Making exceptional products starts with the right tools and materials. Visit ollogginepoxy.com today and find out how to take your projects to the next level. Once again, that's ollogginepoxy.com.
Hey, welcome. This is a brand new episode of the Epoxy Business Podcast. I'm your host, Steve.
And co-host Jake from Ol Loggin Sawmill.
So today's guest, we have Jonathan Gagnon, who is the president of Lab Surface. So if you don't know, Lab Surface is our partner in Ol Loggin Epoxy. They are they're the people. So Jake and I are obviously not chemists, and we are marketers, we are branders, we are woodworkers, but you know, with any product that you put out there, you gotta have some good partners. So welcome, Jonathan, to our show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be there. My first podcast. Hopefully I'm going to do a good job, guys, but you're going to have to bear with me.
Oh, Jonathan, you'll be perfect, buddy. You'll be perfect. You'll be all right.
Jonathan, tell everybody where you got your Italian accent from.
Not in Italy, that's for sure. I'm French Canadian, so I guess that's where my accent comes from.
Awesome, awesome.
But I went to English school, so I guess I've learned there. Yeah.
Awesome. Tell us about how did you? What's the path to being, you know, an epoxy mogul? Can you just tell us how does one become, you know, the president of Lab Surface?
Wow, it's a big question. Well, I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, but it was quite a journey. I'm a former banker. That's what I did for 10 years after school, and I wanted to become an entrepreneur. Well, I think I was already an entrepreneur, to be honest, but I really want to like buy a business and grow this business. So I bought a company with a lab who was doing R&D already, who had production capacity unused, and intellectual property. So that was the criteria I was looking for, and I found what I was looking for. And then within this company, day one we started Lab Surface, and now Lab Surface has become like 97% of this company that I initially purchased. So I mean, it's how do you do this? You need to build foundations. The foundations, what it is, foundations is the R&D. You need to really understand the technology, all the components very well, the suppliers, the different components. And I think that in order to build a very good looking house, well, you need the foundations first. So we've been working hard on that part for maybe we're still working on R&D very hard, but we were very low key for 4 or 5 years. We're still low key because we're not marketing people, we're a manufacturer. Yeah, but we feel that now that we have this experience and the technologies and the know-how, the production, so we feel that we're in a very good spot right now, I guess.
And you guys have been around for 30 plus years now, haven't you?
Well, if you count like the original company that was purchased, the founding date was 1995. 95. So close to 30 years. Yeah, close to 30 years.
Flooring epoxy, right? It was.
No, flooring epoxy I started about 10 years ago.
Okay.
So it was a division because it was a coating. Well, it was a ink manufacturing company, but the inks are a coatings. So some of the big components, you need resin for an ink, for example. You know that there's epoxy resin and the epoxy. Well, there's resin and inks. There's additives, there's like it's coatings, it's a huge industry. And it encompasses not only flooring, but like paint, ink, all of that. So when I purchased the company was owned by a chemist, and I told this chemist, as a condition to purchase the company, that he needed to get started on flooring formulations. We have 4 in the contract, which he did, and then I hired chemists with experience in the flooring world. So right now we have a team, and I mean, it's been growing, and yeah, that's how it happened. So flooring, really, the first R&D has started about 10 years ago, before I closed the deal in 2013, actually, because it was a condition that we needed some starting point formulation when I acquired the business.
What was it? What was it about this business, of all the business that you could have done or gone involved with? Like, what was it about this particular business that attracted you?
The potential. I like, you know, I'm driven by growth. I'm driven by technology. I'm driven by new products. So I have it like, you know, I'm a former banker, but I really do have a strong interest in technologies and R&D. I spend a lot of time in the lab myself with the chemists. I do a lot of meetings, but I used to actually work in the lab with them to really understand how it works. Yeah, so it's really technology, R&D, and making a difference with all these products, because flooring has been there and casting, it's been there for a while, okay? We're not reinventing the wheel, but what we're doing is that we're putting, I mean, really good looking rims on those wheels, where the competition is not doing. So we're having angles on each of the product we're selling. I can give you 2 or 3 angles on almost all of our product lines that the competition is not having, or they offer something. It's always a give and take. You have curing, you have UV resistance, you have working time. You'd like the best working time, but you want to cure it instantly. And you want the UV resistance. Well, these things are all interconnected, but we try to offer the optimal solution to our customers. So each product we bring to the market, we have a specific angle.
So now so at this point, you need a lot of mixing barrels, right? For how big of a facility do you work out of right now, currently?
Currently, it's 23,000 square feet, to be precise. It's not that big. We started in much smaller. It's our second expansion.
Yeah.
I'm, I guess, pleased to announce on this podcast that we signed.
Oh, wait. We have breaking news.
I know. Yeah.
Is this an exclusive?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
It is. But it's
I feel very
signed.
special.
It is, yeah, because only my directors are aware of this. Not actually, we're having enough site on Thursday, so we're Tuesday, so in 2 days, I'm gonna make the announcement, but I guess they won't see that podcast before then. So
No.
Yeah,
let's disclose.
We got the scoop.
Yeah, we're moving next year. We signed an agreement to move in a new facility. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great working environment. We want to put the emphasis, a lot of emphasis on the the offices. So not to brag or anything, just like to make this place a fun place to be. We're 35 employees now. We're going to grow to, I hope, more than 50 before the medium term, so before 3 to 5 years from now. So it's going to be 60,000 square feet. Actually, we're having 23,000 right now, but we're also using close to, I would say, between 5 and 10,000 square feet elsewhere and on another facility where we just store material there. So I mean, we're running under all cylinders. We're having also, we made significant investment in the production equipment, so to increase the output, increase, if we're being more efficient. Yeah, so I mean, we've been growing very fast, but it's a very also fast but healthy. We were not back order even once last year. Very proud of that. In 2021, with all the logistic issues we have, we work very hard with the team to find options and plan accordingly. So, but now we really need the square footage. So that's the next step, I guess.
That blows me away. So you're currently working at a 23,000 square foot shop, where I just built a 4,800 square foot shop. And to me, 23,000 seems awfully big, but you're getting ready to do a 60,000 square foot shop because you guys are so rapidly. And then, so now you're just now getting into casting, correct? Like casting, you guys have already been doing flooring, you mastered that.
Yeah.
And then we came along and you've always kind of wanted to do a little bit of casting because it only makes sense because you already got the barrels and all the chemicals for it anyways, correct?
80% correct, in a sense that there's a lot of overlap. That's correct, because mostly on the resin side, it's the same type of resin, but the hardeners, everything else, I mean, it's not necessarily products that we're using before. Now, well before Ol Loggin time, we were selling casting products. We've been selling for now, I think it's the 5th year. We've made next generation product. Our product lines evolved. Now with the partnership with Ol Loggin, we've been accelerating R&D a lot. We've been pushing for new products more than ever before. We discussed that already. You guys are, using the bread and butter stuff, getting a good grasp of it, but there's more around it.
Oh yeah.
One big product that we launched a bit after that we started to do business together is the hard resin. And I think this is a bread and butter item, and it's I think
a lot of potential there. There's a lot of potential.
It's a game changer for us, especially for the people that does trays, to be able to have a product that you can pour and be done and work on by the next day is a game changer for us in the casting world for these boards and stuff like that. Now, we didn't know, we've been pushing the art resin because the art resin is originally made for like a flood coat or small
top coat. Flood coat.
An inch at the most, 8¼ inch flood coat. But us makers have been pushing that product on these small trays to an inch pour, and then being able to work on it the next day has been a game changer for a lot of makers. So yes, that art has definitely been the bread and butter of majority of these charcuterie boards, I mean.
And again, this product, it's something that was on the R&D project list for a long time before we launched it. And so it's not because like you guys told us, well, it would be nice to have this. We started earlier. And the angles on this product, just to give you, going back to the angle topic, it's the resistance to yellowing. The delta E on this product, which is the measure you need to do to measure the how it yellows over time, is extremely low. I think it scores 5, if I'm not mistaken, or 4 or 5. All the epoxy flooring products that we tested, and we tested dozens, they're between 10 and 20.
Wow.
So
What do you
having like 4 or 5, like a non-yellowing product, like an aliphatic urethane or a polyaspartic, is going to score around 1. Now you're Loggin 2 as a delta E of 3, which is absolutely, I mean,
Wow,
amazing.
phenomenal.
So it's years of usage without yellowing, years and years, depending on the amount of light that's going to come in the room. But
And that's huge, because a lot of older epoxy resins out there yellow really quickly.
Yeah.
To this product is going to be a very light yellow, if any, and it'll take a long time to get to that.
It will take a very long time. For an epoxy. You're close to what it's called a non-yellowing product.
Mm-hmm.
Non-yellowing product, you need to go on the aliphatic side, and they're urethanes, aliphatic only, or polyaspartic. There's nothing else really that does not yellow. Okay. But in epoxy, at a delta E of 3 to between 3, 4, 5, it's much closer to the non-yellowing range versus the
12, 20, right?
Yeah, so it's very good. The other angle, I think, just with the resin, for instance, it's the working time, cure time ratio, thickness, which is so the thicker you go, more you're going to accelerate the reaction. You know that, guys. So this product, we wanted to give the maximum thickness without being an issue, without overreacting with an exothermic reaction. But we wanted like to fine tune, to optimize this thing so it cures fast. You get a working time in the thickness, and plus it doesn't yellow. So we haven't been in the business for 20 years. Maybe we were there for 5 years, but we tested a lot of product, and we haven't found something with all this fine tuning within one pail or one jug, right? So.
And what you guys are witnessing here is this is what's great about Ol Loggin Epoxy, is that we can connect right with the owner, right with the president of Lab Surface. And if there are any issues that happen or that arises, we can all talk about it and try and make it better consistently all the time. There's only a very few manufacturers in North America, if I'm not mistaken, right? And a lot of those, a couple of those white label hundreds of people, you know what I mean? And so it's hard to contact a label company and try and get if things are wrong with it, try and like narrow that down 100%, to where with Lab Service, us and Lab Service, we got a one-to-one connection.
It's a partnership. It's a partnership. Yeah. It's like
we're always
like, yeah. I mean, I think we could talk about, we had some issues with our product earlier, right? And, there was some crystallization, and these guys, I mean, our partners, Lab Service, they were able to recreate the crystallization that was happening, and were able to solve it. And it was, I mean, and we also we got on a call with all of our distributors, and it was like, and I saw Jonathan. I mean, I know you saw it because we talked about it a little bit. Jake was like, Jonathan's like investigative, like nonstop. Like this is like, wait, this is not a game. We're not like just white labeling anything. Like like anybody could go out and just white label anything else. Like this isn't a white label relationship. This is a partnership.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, and I'll say it, like, I felt very proud I'm still proud to be able to partner with you on this, because, you know, to be able to have a product that helps create livelihood for people, right? People depend on this product in order to feed their family. Like, we were able to solve it. And sure, you know, there's probably, you know, to be honest, there's some people that got pissed off and they left, but we're in this for the long haul, right? Like Jake, Jake, Jonathan, we're here to create this best in class product. You know what I mean? And so I'm just, anyway, I just have to say kudos to you, Jonathan, and your team. It was like a pivotal moment. Like, Jake and I were stressed, right? Like, getting all this, you know, our chat group, like, everybody was like blowing up, and then we had people dropping out. It's like kind of a tense moment, right, Jake?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the fact that within days, Jonathan came back, they found a resolution for it. They were able to recreate it, which is very important, to recreate something like that. So then we could tell for in the future, we could fix it for the future, that it won't happen again. We're 100% confident that our product is getting better and better at each moment.
Yeah, that's very interesting topic, and I think we thank you guys in the sense that you pushed us to solve this. Now, I think the key date, if I'm not mistaken, it's something like mid-April, I think the 16th. Everything that was produced after that date has been taken care of, and in a way that, since we, exactly, you said it, we isolated, we were able to find what's the cause, because we were able to reproduce. So when you were able to reproduce, you can isolate the variables, right? So since that date, we changed, or we added like something in our approach where we know that it's going to solve the issue. Now, while we're talking about this, let's talk about this a little bit more about the crystallization. So the thing is that although we did this, okay, I'm going to give an extreme example where you have your jugs, they sit somewhere like ambient temperature or not, okay, for years. It is possible, because it's not within our reach. It's the technology. These are the molecules, okay? They're like that they might to start to micro crystallize, something like microscopic. You cannot see that with your eyes, okay? And then what you need a catalyst for this crystallization to spread all over the jug, okay? And this catalyst is a heat shock, cold and warm at the same time. So it's very precise conditions where you're gonna have that. I think we did the count of how many jugs or kits crystallized. Each one that crystallizes is one which is like too much, right, already. But it was a very small percentage of our overall production.
Yes.
But so what I'm saying is that we feel very strong about the fact that you gotta be full for at the very least 1 year shelf life under any condition. The true number should be well above that. So I think, yes, this issue is behind us. But if you look at a jugs and like 5 years from now that you purchased like 5 years ago, it might recreate itself because it's the molecules, but we're doing something to like slow down the process a lot, like by a huge number.
Yeah.
So we were very happy about that. This is a situation that we saw year after year for lab surface, but also or competitors, which I don't want to name, but even the large blue chip companies
every time I've been through 5 different epoxy companies, and every year, I've done this for 5 years now. Every year, there's been some sort of crystallization or something like that within the company, and it's always around the exact same time. And that's what you're talking about with
So I guess what I wanted to say by the thank you is with the flooring industry, the people are kind of, it's sad to say, but they're kind of used to that, to get this once in a while, very rarely, but in the casting, you guys made us like really work hard on this, okay? And now everyone benefits from it. Everybody's going to benefit. Flooring, casting, everybody. So
the distributors.
We're very happy where we sit right now. And yes, it's been stressful for us too. Trust me. But you know, we're just stronger as a group right now. So,
and all the experience you guys have as well. I mean, you guys have been around for 30 years. So this isn't like, it's not something that everyone's brand new to this and we all have to figure it out. No, you guys are full on chemists. You have over 35 employees on hand, about ready to go like 50. You're going to have over 50 employees, 60,000 square foot building, a new 60,000 on top of a 23,000 square foot. So it is just the top is just insane on where you guys are heading with this. There's no end in sight. And I love working with you guys on this.
With this partnership, I think where we can bring an angle as a group is that we're forming almost one entity, and we manufacture, we don't resell. So we control our destiny. We can adjust if there's a procurement issue. We can adjust if we can fine tune, we can come up with improvements.
Supplemental products.
Supplemental products.
We can. I mean, one thing that we've been working on is like, so, you know, Jake and I run a marketing agency. Jake runs, you know, a sawmill company, and we came together because we were, you know, I was helping him with his marketing, and we formed this together, but we didn't know anything about manufacturing, customer service, returns, shipping. I mean, Jake had shipping experience, but like, you know, like we're having to think of things of how to produce like a, you know, a really good company. And so it, you know, like figuring out customers, how to get answer customer questions. Like those are things that we're you know, having to, you know, leverage technology, information, relationships, and resources in order to do that. And so, yeah, this is it's exciting to be able to do this and build this, especially with strong, competent, really smart people.
Yeah, and what I enjoy too about this is I've worked with other epoxy companies where I couldn't contact the chemists. They were a white label themselves, trying to do a white label. Like there's double white label companies going on here. And I'm thinking, this is just insane. I need someone to talk to. I need a chemist to talk to. So that's what I really love about this is we are the first contact, and then it's chemists.
Absolutely. And we're always there to pick up the phone. Actually, we're working on this project for technical support together. Which I'm very excited about personally, and
super excited.
Brings the strengths of everybody on the table, and we're very focused on you guys. I mean, and vice versa. You know, we're patient people. We grow smart. We grow over the long term. We have very little customer turnover, like very small. We go where there's a fit. We protect our customers even in tough times where there's not much raw material. We refuse more business than we accept, actually. That since the COVID, it has been like that. We've been saying no more often than yes, because there's limited raw material. So, but you know, that's us. We don't want, I mean, we're not like short-term oriented at all. and we're patient. So
hence our agreement.
yes, yeah, well, that's correct.
You didn't even notice, and you're like, "Yeah, we got to do this for a while." Right? you literally did. I mean, maybe you talked to Jake maybe once or twice or something. Maybe DM, right? It was, but you're like, yeah, I'm in this. Well, I mean, that's a question. Why us?
I like you guys.
I know.
No, I really do like you. I think in the business relationship, we need, on the, the individual side is super important as far as I'm concerned. And I think it's a perfect fit, to be honest. I love the marketing, your marketing, and I'm lousy in marketing. Lab Surface, we're low key people. We're not like social media or anything. So it's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're both learning. That's, it takes time to build something super solid and super, and bigger. Right now, my concern is to make sure we have these great foundations, solid, that we can build on them. I'm not concerned about like making like whatever numbers in the next 12 months. I'm very happy what we've been through. We had some issues together. We went through these issues together. But at the end of the day, I think your marketing is bang on, and I'm very confident about our technology, because over the long term, yellowing doesn't happen in 1 week, right? So people will, over the long term, realize the quality.
Mm-hmm.
So altogether, it has a lot of potential.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
this goes to show everybody out there that networking is huge, and you can do a lot of networking and that's how social media got us to this point. Jonathan didn't know anything about Steve and I until social networking came along, and of us and yourself as a business, it's very important to network through social media, pick up a phone, call people, start a relationship with somebody and who you want to be, pick out somebody who you want to be, start a relationship with that person. It's very, very important, networking. So anything else?
No, that's it. I mean, Jonathan, what's the future hold for us if you were to predict?
I see a bright future, guys. I see that we have 5 years of experience in casting. We have a dedicated team in the lab. We knew the technology even before that, the components. I think we have a very good reputation in the flooring world. So we're trying to replicate that in the casting. Yes, crystallization, it did happen. I think we solved it. I think the issue is behind us. And when you look at the intrinsic, like what's in the or products, the formula, they're very solid formula. So all together with the marketing effort you're doing and the ramp up on the distribution side, I see a real bright future. And I think at some point this thing can go really huge, like really huge. And we love customers like that and partners like that. And this is why we're moving, actually. We've been growing at 50% every year for 6 years in a row. This is with these kind of partnerships. So sometimes you don't see that much growth for 24 months, and then boom, it explodes. So we've been through that pattern before, and I think you guys can replicate this pattern. Well, all together we can replicate this pattern for sure.
And I want to be clear on everybody when you're hearing this crystallization. It was very few kits out of batches of hundreds and hundreds of them. We just jumped on it really quickly. Little PTSD me on some other stuff, and the fact that we were able to jump on it and fix it within
and address people and replace their product. right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the biggest thing behind this podcast is like, I mean, we want to be transparent. We want to help people, you know, we're like, God's sakes, we brought our partner on, right? Like, you know, like we're building a different type of company, a different type of brand. And I'm happy to be here, and we're going to all meet next week in Montreal.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to
Looking
be
forward for that, guys.
I'm very, very excited.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't do content on that. We'll bring all our followers and customers along with us.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to see Lab Surface and see how it all works out. And I'm very impressed by that. And right now we just have, I want everybody to know too, we just have a Loggin 2 casting and an art. There's also a tabletop out there, and Lab Surface is coming up with multiple stuff that's going to help out the woodworking community. Faster curing epoxy, filling holes, cracks, all different types of things that's coming down.
Finishes. Yep.
Finishes, stuff like that. So this is just the beginning, everybody.
Absolutely.
Of a whole lot more.
For sure. Jonathan, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
My pleasure. All right.
Thank you for partnering with us. All right.
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Epoxy Business Podcast, proudly sponsored by Ol Loggin Epoxy. Make sure you subscribe and follow us so you don't miss the next episode. For more information on other offerings from the Woodpreneur Network, you can check out woodpreneurlife.com. We'll see you next week.